you with queasy stomachs should turn away now.
But these things are great. I mean, they're awesome. The artistry that goes into special makeup effects it runs the gamut from sculpting, from painting, from mold making, from design. I mean, it's all over the place. It really encompasses kind of everything, and I think that's kind of what drew me to it at such a young age. Anything that I could get my hands on, I would watch. And then after a while of watching enough horror films, I kind of realized that somebody was making this stuff. You know, somebody was making like the monsters, the zombies, and all that stuff. And I mean, I remember watching the making of Thriller. I mean, that for me was a big turning point. Seeing Rick Baker, you know, he was doing a life cast in that. They were in the makeup trailer, applying all the makeups. I mean, that was a big one. You know, I was probably like way too young to be watching horror films, but by the time I was around like 7 or 8, I mean, that's when I started getting, you know, I got a hold of latex and derma wax or nose putty or whatever, blood, you know, just messing with that kind of stuff. And then slowly kind of working up towards making like a mold or doing like a life cast of somebody. So are you cool with doing the life? You think you want to do the life cast?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it, okay.
This is exciting.
So the life cast is the basis for all special makeup effects in terms of prosthetics. If at any point too you want to take it off, just let me know. We'll just take it off. You just won't air this. We'll do something else. But trust me, it's really quick.
I'm excited. This will be cool.
It'll go. You'll get like a nice cool.
I won't regret this.
Yeah. No. You get a nice cool little takeaway gift. You know.
Give it to my mom.
Exactly. The materials have changed a little bit, so I'm gonna use the more old school materials, which is alginate, but nowadays we use silicone because it's a little bit more durable. We can, you know, it lasts forever. So this is alginate. Basically, you want to get it to like a pretty creamy consistency. You don't want it too thick. You don't want it too runny. All right, close your eyes. Ooh, it's a little cool. It'll bring up more details and stuff. Right out of high school, I just started working on any independent film I can get my hands into. I didn't start out doing straight special effects. I started doing some sound and special effects, just anything else and PA stuff, anything to kind of get me onto like anything. So I would start, you know, doing some short films. I did a couple features starting out, and then, you know, as I was able to build up a little bit of a resume, took pictures of stuff more, and you know, people could see more of what I was doing. Then it was kind of strictly more just special effects, and kind of was able to weed out doing all the other gigs that I didn't have an interest in. It just kind of snowballs from there, because once you get known for doing special effects, other filmmakers will recommend you for stuff, other actors that like really enjoyed working with you will recommend you for projects.
You look great, man.
So then the plaster bandages go on. How you doing? You doing okay?
Mm-hmm.
Good. And then that all comes off. So what I'm gonna have you do is, let me see your hands here. So you're not gonna pull, but you're gonna hold. Kind of just put your hands. No. Take your hands. Put them right there. You go. Okay. Now I want you to lean forward just a little bit. Okay. And then basically, all I'm gonna have you do is just kind of make scrunchy faces, frowny faces, stuff like that. And just kind of slowly. There you go. And then there's the negative impression of his face. And then once that comes off, I will fill it with probably plaster, but you can fill it with a couple different materials. So you nose plugs. I gotta clean those up. But
That's freaky.
Yeah, and that's where everything kind of starts from there. I just want to keep making like cool creature stuff. I'd love to work on more. I'd love to work on something like The Thing. That to me is like the ultimate, you know, project, dream project. That'd be so cool.